people, now is that time. Now is that time. We are at that time. It is time to place our bodies upon the cogs and halt their destruction. But we do so mostly because we hold and cherish the hope that this evil machine will be destroyed.
That's right!
The speakers we have assembled to hear from today hold on to that same joyful, transcendent hope for this country that I have. And I have met most of them at various demonstrations and know of their goodness. And I am so honored to introduce some of them to you here today. Next speaker will be Vox from San Antonio Unity. Thank you.
Hi guys, I'm Vox from San Antonio Unity.
Excuse me, do you mind if I leave my phone down there just to record?
Yeah, it's totally me.
Okay, thank you.
Everyone, here in Dilley, we're back at this concentration camp, to demand its closure. This place, this family concentration camp, it's a trailer park prison where children are locked up, treated like criminals, learning the sound of cells slamming shut, the quiet crying of families, the insults from guards before they even learn their lunch number. Yeah, I know, the population's declined some, down to about 1,500 from over 2,400 peak, but listen, that's not enough. Not even close. This facility needs to be shut down completely right now. No half measures. Yeah. Let me make this crystal clear. 80% of people in ICE custody have no criminal background. 80% of people in ICE custody have no criminal background, 0 convictions. Immigration's a civil violation, not criminal. The Constitution protects people, not just citizens. Due process for all, per the 5th and the 14th Amendments. But here, every protection is stripped away. Then they get thrown into concentration camp conditions, psychological torture, physical torture, no food or moldy inedible slop, no clean water, guard abuse, medications denied, sometimes life-saving ones. All of it designed to break them down, to force self-deportations. While Core Civic rakes in $1 billion plus yearly from these for-profit cages. Core Civic and GEO, can't forget about GEO, guards throw this abuse right in front of representatives. We've seen it with our own eyes. So you tell me what happens behind closed doors. These are parents, community members, and their children who built lives here, brutalized, degraded, tortured to break their spirits. And this isn't some accident, y'all. It's an attack on the proletariat of color, part of the mass incarceration machine, born from 400 years of slavery, locked in through the 13th Amendment exception clause that said slavery's fine if you're a prisoner. ICE, Core Civic, GEO Group, they're fast-tracking detention empires through shady contracts, like Wexmac Titus 2.2, dodging oversight, building more beds, more profits, and the agents? Fucking untrained, overarmed, Proud Boy types, gun happy, enforcing carceral terror on black and brown bodies. Politicians like Mark Wayne, who took Kristi Noem's spot, they're just fueling the outrage, upholding the $38.3 billion, 92,000 bed policy, kicking the can down the road while Texas chokes bail funds. Nonprofits are capped at 3 bailouts, forced to document every person, every offense. And now DHS plans the East Side camp is open September 30th. This is police state repression, plain and simple. Now this whole thing, it's what I call panopticonic simulacrum. Let me break it down real quick. Panopticon, you're always watched or made to feel watched, so you police yourself. Simulacrum, a fake reality. Put them together, it's staged order. Surveillance, intimidation, algorithms sorting your life into categories, manufacturing submission, not protection, domination. But we can't ignore the bigger picture either. Iran's war is escalating. De-dollarization surging. Iran's demanding yuan just to pass through the Strait of Hormuz, cracking that U.S. economic fragility wide open.
That's right.
Empires fall when the exploited rise up. Real change start with awareness, sure, but then material power, mutual aid networks, transportation funds, hot food lines, rent aid, gas funds, bail funds, tools that make people secure enough to resist. This work demands real introspection. Ask yourself, am I an influencer or am I an activist? Because an activist, it's not photo ops. Not community service you clock out of. It's sacrifice. It's messy grind. It's perpetual study. Proving yourself through results, through the comrades you build. For some of us, our skin wrote this destiny. We don't get to walk away. That's why solidarity is everything. This work, it's 2020 continued. And listen, it's not just Latinos suffering. In these camps, Black migrants make up just 6% of ICE detention, but make up 28% of abuse reports. They're over jailed 6 times in solitary confinement. 76% deported over any police contract. These are Caribbean Black migrants are deported 76%. Okay, 76%. 98% are more likely to be deported if they're Black. This is the same fight Black folks have been waging since slave patrols against a system that saw us as disposable. When Black people rose up against brutality overfunding under against police brutality and overfunding after George Floyd's murder, locals near that memorial told me straight, their neighborhood stayed untouchable until his death forced the world to look. But he wasn't the first killed right there. Black folks carry the deepest scars of this violence, so if you want real change, stand with us. Please. This struggle belongs to all of us. But Black lives have been on the front lines forever. Look, I'm bone tired saying this. We drove all day the 12th, hit Minnesota the 13th, donated to Copal Lemen at Dia Habla Hoy. Dios Habla Hoy, left the 15th at 2 p.m., rolled into San Antonio the 16th at noon, tabled at Cross Point the 17th, 8 to 11 a.m., and now we're here at Dilley, showing out. I've watched y'all organize, heard your fire. I love it. That's movement, real people, real power. We're not begging humanity from inhumane machines. We expose it, we confront it, and we dismantle it. Starting with closing this Dilley trailer park prison forever. Mutual aid, Black migrant solidarity, relentless organization, no more cages, no more cruelty, dignity now, freedom for all. Thank you. I didn't mean to take up that much time, y'all. Thank you.
The power in that voice. I got chills all over. And that right there is the energy that we need to show up with. Thank you so much. I couldn't even interrupt that. We had to let that go. We had to let it go all the way. Wow. So I'm going to go ahead and introduce Eric Holguin from Unidos US. And he has jumped on board and helped us with the organization on this. And Eric is a good friend of mine. And here he is.
Do kids belong in cages? No! Do kids belong in cages? No! My name is Eric Holguin. I'm the Texas State Director for Unidos US. We're the largest Hispanic Latino civil rights organization in Texas. And we stand with you all here today because what's happening right now by the Trump administration, perpetuated by Greg Abbott, is just horrendous. Every day, kids are being held in here in unhealthy, unsanitary conditions where they're not getting an education that they deserve, where they're not getting proper nutrition that they deserve, where they're not getting clean drinking water that they deserve. And I don't know about you all, but I feel, aside from us here today, our country is not angry enough about this. And we have to be doing more. From Lubbock to Dallas to Houston to San Antonio to the Valley, over to El Paso.
Ballot box.
Ballot box, absolutely. We have to be doing more. We have to be stepping up. We have to be fighting for our future, fighting for our democracy, fighting for our communities. Right now, I'm telling you all, I have been disgusted by how we're treating our own people. Whether they're an immigrant or whether they're not an immigrant, it doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter what your background is. It doesn't matter why you came to this country. What matters is you're here and we love you. So we're gonna win this November, and I want to challenge all of you. Who here is a precinct chair in your community? I see a few hands. We need more of you. We need more of you to step up and advocate in your community. Go door to door. Because right now, this cannot be it. We cannot just show up one time and say, yeah, I did my part. I took my pictures. I was an activist for the day. If we're going to stop what's happening right now, if we're going to shut down the Dilley Detention Center and other centers that are unlawfully holding our people, then we have to go talk to our people. We have to go show up to their doors. We have to have those tough conversations and let them know how what's happening to our kids can happen to them. Because what's happening right now seemed kind of distant to us just over a year ago or 2 years ago. It didn't really seem too far away. It was kind of like, oh, we heard about the media. Then it started becoming local into the state. And we're like, okay, that's weird. It's starting to creep into our state. And now we're seeing it literally in our neighborhoods. We're seeing it literally with our neighbors, where some of our neighbors, our coworkers, our students are just disappearing. And we don't know, and we know why, but we're not really getting out there and letting people know that what's happening is just horrendous. And so we're going to continue to advocate at the federal level. We're going to continue to hold Congress accountable because of the blank checks that they give ICE. Right now, Republicans in Congress are trying to fund DHS even more without any guardrails. We cannot let them give them another cent to ICE, to Border Patrol. We have to go talk to our members of Congress, even if you think that they will not listen to you. Even if their name is Monica De La Cruz or Chip Roy or whatever clowns we have. Even if it is Ted Cruz, we still got to show him by his door and let him know that we will not stand for this anymore. So I have a question for all of you. What are we doing this November? Vote them out! 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 So again, thank you all for showing up today. Thank you for making the trek across the state to come be here, not just for our cause, but for our kids who are literally waiting for us to show up for them and get them out of there. Thank you for being a part of this. And when you go back home, please go knock on doors, make phone calls, get your community members out to vote this November, because the way we're going to stop this is by getting the people who are making this horrendous stuff happen, getting them out of office. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Eric. All right, y'all. The next speaker is Cheryl Gonzalez with Project Unidad. This one carries the support of ancestors. This one carries power in her voice and protection in her step. Let's go.
So I didn't write it. I'm ready to come out here and one of the things that got me noticed
was my feeling it from the heart, right? And speaking from the heart, right? When I first, one of the pictures that were put out there, and I wasn't expecting it, right? Because someone said something I didn't like in city council, and it was Moody from our commissioner court. And he turned around and stated, you know, our police officers' lives matter. So make sure that none of you do anything to them. But he forgot to mention how important we are too. You know? Why is it that their lives only matter and not ours? And don't get me wrong, I know there's some good police officers out there. But we're seeing attack after attack after attack after attack, right? You see them out there standing, waiting for us, waiting for you to make one little move, right? And we have that fear. A lot of us have that fear inside of us because I hear it all the time. I want to do something different. I don't know what to do. How do I do this? It's scary. We seen what happened to you in Dilley in January 28th when they sat there and gassed all of us. Sitting there, standing, arm by arm, locked. There was no one throwing anything at them. They said someone spit it out. It probably felt a bubble. Look at what we're doing right now. We're advocating for children. I'm trying not to cry. Because normally I hold my composure. But I speak from a kid that was traumatized. At the age of 6 years old, I had to witness my brother getting shot in the head. And it left him paralyzed. But not only did I go through that trauma, but I was taken away from my family. Sat with a stranger for 2 months, not knowing that if all my family died. So I know the trauma that children endure when they're separated from their family. And then they live with that forever. Just because they're released doesn't mean that goes away. And I see a lot of women standing here today. I see a lot of you women standing here today because you're just like me and you had enough. And you said that's enough of treating children, mothers, fathers like that. Right? Because we're mothers, we're grandmothers. We know that sacrifice. We know that pain. We know that generational curse that it goes on and on and on and on. For systems that create brokenness. And broken people create more broken people. We got to stop that brokenness. And how do we do it? You see all these organizations out here? There's a lot of amazing organizations. Start talking to them. If you don't find the one that you like that does not align with you, create one. That's what I did. I'm part of different organizations. But I also got the privilege of people wanting to come together and said, let's do something. Right? We created Project Unidad. There's a lot of great members. I hope y'all meet them out there doing great things. So you don't have to know what you're doing. I don't know what I'm doing half the time. But what I know is that I need to stand here today. I need to stand there for every broken child that is standing behind there begging to be released. Every mother that is saying, I need help. Help us get out of here. Look what they're doing to our children.
Shut it down!
Look at what the food that they're giving. Even people in prison are eating better than these children right here. You know? And I can testify that food ain't good either. You know? Those who have ever been in the system before knows the crappy food they give you. But this one is even worse because we're giving it to children. They say they're criminals. What is criminal about it? What is criminal about wanting a better life?
Children are criminals.
Right? We need to make those changes. And it starts with us. It starts with you. Right? And again, I want to tell you, thank you. Thank you for standing up
here today. Thank you for bringing your kids and showing them that this is what it's supposed to be like. Democracy, right? Not to be afraid to stand up. Even when in this state, in Texas, we know what we're facing. Law enforcement are working together. 287G, SB4, right? Shame. 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 And as the time goes on and on and on, we see more law enforcement sign stronger agreements with CBP, right? And I want to curse, but I promise I wouldn't. You know? Besides, you know, there are some religious folks around here, you know? And so, I'm going to keep it PG because, you know, there's children too. But in all reality, stand up. Go out there, meet your candidates. Go out there. Politics is hard. I'm not going to lie. Half the time I sit in a room full of people and they're throwing all these legal jargons at me and I'm like, what? But I'm willing to learn. And that's what it takes. We're willing to learn. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Wow. Good job. Okay. So right now, the next person that I'm going to introduce up here is a personal friend of mine, and she is a civil rights advocate and giant. She has spent her life standing in the gap. Someone who has not just spoke about justice, but literally fights for it. Jennifer Harbury is a human rights attorney, an author, a relentless advocate for the disappeared, the detained, and the forgotten. For decades, she's exposed human rights abuses from U.S. foreign policy in Central America to the injustices happening right here inside detention centers, like the one we're standing in front of here. And I am so honored to call her a fellow Blue Bunny Brigade. Come on up here, Jennifer.
When I was riding down here with my friends, I was thinking, you know, I've been going to Dilley for more than a decade now. God damn it, you know, like when are things going to change? You know, like it gets shut down, it's going to be reformed, then it comes back worse than everything, it gets altered. But now I'm looking out at this crowd and it's like, hey, I think change is coming right now. Thank you. I turned 75 this year, getting a little doggy. But hey, this makes me feel young again. Thank you. I know there's so many different aspects to tell. You know, legal issues, personal issues, children's rights issues. I'm just going to tell two stories, though. In all the years down here, there's a couple of stories that I think say everything and give you the ammunition or the tools that you need to frame arguments and stuff. It's one thing to say under Trump's first term in office, 5 children died in custody. Well, that's damn right. One was a teenager who had the flu and no one that gave him any meds at all. They shipped him over to
In our hometown.
on the floor. You know, many others, when they got sick enough, they didn't want to have to report another death, so they put them on buses and got them the hell out of there, and they died shortly thereafter. That counts. But I don't want to just give numbers and statistics today. When Trump first came into office, round one, that was bad enough. We got away from the whole statutory situation, which says the laws our Congress has passed. If you need asylum, if you're in trouble or danger, you go to the port of entry and say, I need to ask for asylum, I'm in danger. And the law says you shall send those people for processing. And afterwards, when they were all signed in and everything, they can go temporarily to a relative or a friend, and we will, a court, process their asylum claims. If they won their asylum, good, they got papers. If they didn't win their asylum, well, they got sent back. The parole into this country was not permanent residence, as a lot of people tend to exaggerate. But all of a sudden, we saw that change. People were going up to the bridge and saying, I'm in danger, I need to ask for asylum. And they were getting told, we don't do that anymore, you're Honduran, get lost. I mean, literally, stuff like it that was burning my ears. I was still a lawyer at that point. So I'll start with the case of Daniela, I'll call her. She was from Guatemala, still is, although I don't know where she is now. As a young woman, she had an 8-year-old daughter, and she lived in a very militarized town. And all of that military, after the war ended, totally overlapped with the drug lords. They became one and the same. So she was told that this particular guy wanted her to become his mistress. And she said no. And they said, be careful about that. We'll take your girl. She had one child, daughter. So she grabbed the daughter and ran because she figured they're going to take both of us. And when he gets bored with me, he'll sell me into a prostitution ring and I'll never see my girl again. She got all the way across Mexico, although she was raped. They got into Reynosa and were in a very overpacked van with many other people, and were immediately chased by the cartels. We made the cartels so rich by making people wait in Mexico. If they got kidnapped, it was about $10,000 a head. Hey, they love staying in Mexico. So the van flipped over. She was the only survivor. There's newspaper photos of her little girl lying dead in the road. She nearly got her head cut off going through the windshield, and she had a smashed pelvis. For 2 months, she recovered in a hospital, more or less, and then was driven to the bridge at her request with a walker. She could barely walk. It's a very long bridge, but she hobbled in pain all the way up to the U.S. port of entry. Went in, there's 60 seats. 4 of them were occupied by Cubans asking for asylum. And she said, I need to ask for asylum too, I'm in danger. And they said, no, we're not doing that today, we're too busy, go back. They didn't take her name, they didn't schedule anything, they didn't tell her when to come back. So she hobbled back across the bridge, and there's all the cartels having a field day. They camped out at the bridge, they kidnapped her, she was disappeared for 2 months. Finally, she was dumped back at one of the church sanctuaries, and they were like, good Lord, and they called me to come walk her across. And I put together a team of other women lawyers from all the different refugee groups, and we walked her across, her still on her walker, this tall, and it was a very nasty, nasty fight. I would even liken it to the shootout at the OK Corral, but we got her across, but it was ugly. We kept holding up the statute book, and it's like, you have to do it. So she got across, but under the law, when she was processed, she should have been released on bond. She had 3 sisters who were citizens. She had a severe medical condition, and she had no criminal background. She was eligible 3 ways. They wouldn't let her out. They wouldn't let her out and wouldn't let her out, and they didn't give her adequate medical care of any kind. Finally, the surgical site in her hip from the pelvis that was smashed began to reopen. Medically, that's the same as a rupturing appendix. You have to go immediately, for very, very high dosages of antibiotics. But that was expensive, so they just kept her there and gave her low-dose pills, which were nowhere near strong enough. So she became resistant one by one to all the antibiotics. They only took her upstairs once a day to change the bandages, so she would shower and re-bandage herself with sanitary pads. That's all she had. The towels and sheets she could only wash every few days. Finally, the leg was so badly infected, she was screaming and in a wheelchair. And then they called me and said, okay, we decided to let her go out on bond now. So we got her to one of her citizen sisters, who drove her straight to the emergency room nearby, where the doctors were so outraged and upset. They said, she's probably going to die, but for sure she'll lose her leg. But they were so upset they put together a team from all over the country, and 4 or 5 surgeries later, they saved her, and she could walk again. She went to stay with her sister. Then what happened? Immigration wrote her a note. We want you to come for a check-in, bring your papers. So she didn't want a 3rd attempt on her life, basically, so she vanished. I don't know where she is now. I assume they're hunting her down. If they catch her, she goes back in. They're going to deny her medical care again. They're going to give her moldy sandwiches, dirty water. Sure. Are they going to give her a hearing? No. They're just going to send her back to Guatemala to all the gangs that are mad at her from the first time around. So all I can say is we often ask, well, why don't they go home and take care of this themselves? why don't they fix their own country? And it's like, because the United States does not allow that. There was a coup in Guatemala in '54, and we installed a military that then armed a military dictatorship that carried out genocide for 40 years. 200,000 people dead and disappeared. They're still trying to do Nuremberg trials. They can't, because the CIA worked hand in glove with the death squads they put in power, so they won't release the files, even though it's been way more than 25 years. And the people that they had on their payroll cannot even be investigated by the DEA because they're CIA former partners. Julio Roberto Alpidez, one of the worst of all of the colonels, carried out the genocide, village by village massacres, and either had my husband thrown out of a helicopter or hacked to death and scattered across a sugarcane field. He was indigenous. Alpidez is alive and well, running his drug business in Guatemala, and that's it. So that's what we do. Those monsters that we created that are still protected run all of these poor victims up here, and we kick them in the face. Cool.
The stories that woman can tell you, her actual experiences, I encourage everyone to read her book, look into her. She is amazing. Right now, I want to welcome someone that is a young influencer, but has used his platform to really talk about the injustices, talk about voting. He is really making a change in social media. Please welcome Ricky Longoria, the gay liberal.
Thank you all so much. Hello, everyone. First, I want to thank Griselda and the incredible organizers who made today possible, and to thank each and every single one of you here who came out today on Saturday. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Ricky Longoria, also known as the Gay Liberal on social media. I found out today through Chris, and she said something recently that really resonated with me. She said that her content on social media was being suppressed, but she didn't care, because she said the movement is not built on the algorithm, but it's built by regular people. People like you and me, the 10,000 moms, and to each and every one of us who showed up today to fight for the families, to fight for our community, and most importantly, to fight for the children. So if you came here today wondering whether or not your presence matters, let me tell you right now, you are the movement, we are the movement. I also came here today because my Catholic faith teaches me to stand up for the oppressed, to defend the vulnerable, and to love thy neighbor. And I want to ask you something. Does cruelty love thy neighbor? No. Does separating families love thy neighbor? No. Does denying children and families food, water, and dignity love thy neighbor? No. It does not. What's happening right now is the exact opposite of what Jesus taught us. And what's happening right now behind me is not Christian values. It's not pro-life values. What we are seeing right now is the exact opposite, and it's cruelty from devil and Satan himself. This is a concentration camp that's no different than Nazi Germany. Malnutrition, family separation, and cruelty. And we know what's happening behind these closed doors. They're putting kids in cages, feeding them, quote, warmy food, and refusing to provide detainees with adequate health care. Exactly. Not too long ago, we saw the horrors that little Liam Ramos was facing, and he wasn't alone. A 26-year-old mother of 5 described the water by saying, "You can't drink the water here, the smell is bad, and it hurts our stomachs a lot." And she added by saying that she has to buy fresh water at the commissary if they have the money. But what's sickening to me the most is when they ask guards for fresh water, they give them the cold shoulder by saying, "Buy it at the store." But the water isn't the only thing that's bad. It is a shame. The food is not edible either. A father of a 4-year-old boy said, "We were given warmy food." And when someone spoke out about it, thank you. When someone spoke out about it, saying that their children should get better food, they were taken in the middle of the night and threatened. threatened to separate him from his child, and that he would go to an adult detention center and his child would go to a detention center alone. All for simply asking for food that doesn't have worms in it. And we're not outraged enough. This should outrage every single one of us, because no child deserves this. No mother deserves this. No family deserves this. And I want to make something crystal clear, and say it with me. This is not normal.
This is not normal.
This is not normal.
This is not normal.
They want us to believe that this is acceptable. They want us to look away, and they want us to become numb. This administration and the Department of Homeland Security is lying straight to our faces by saying these facilities are family friendly with access to medical care, educational opportunities, books, and outdoor time. That is a load of bullshit. And you want to know who also said these lies? The Nazis, when they described the concentration camps to the Jews. It's no different. But the difference between us and this current administration is we know how to read, and we know our history, and we are seeing it unfold again before our eyes. But we're here today because we refuse to be silent, and we refuse to be distracted, and we refuse to let cruelty become policy. And let me tell you something else before I go. They are afraid of moments like this. They are afraid of us when people gather. They are afraid when communities organize. And they are afraid when the truth gets louder than their propaganda. And anyone with a brain can see that this is no way to live, and that this facility needs to be closed, and it needs to be closed now. It is time to end the cruelty. It is time to end this. The vast majority of Americans do not support this, and any person with a heart and a conscience can see that what's happening here is wrong. And many of you are asking, what do we do now? We keep showing up, we keep fighting, we keep speaking out, and we vote! Because we demand dignity, we demand humane treatment, and we demand that freedom for every family being harmed here, and we are not going to stop until this place is closed. So when you keep talking about Dilley, keep calling our elected officials, keep organizing your neighbors, family, and your friends, keep marching, keep resisting, because when ordinary people come together, there is nothing more powerful. They may have the fences, they may have the gates, but today we have the power. The people have the power, and the people united will always be 10 times stronger than them. Thank you all so much.
Thank you so much, Ricky. I appreciate you. We're going to go ahead and have Chele from PSL. Come on up here. We love PSL.
Thank you, everyone. Yes. I want to thank the organizers for putting this together and inviting us, and everyone here for standing up and fighting back against fascism. My name is Chele. I'm with the Party for Socialism and Liberation in San Antonio. I'm going to be pretty blunt. This is a concentration camp.
That's right.
This is part of the deportation machine. Like another speaker said earlier, she's been coming to Dilley for 10 years, right? So this isn't just a Trump problem, this is a system problem. DHS has been around since 2003. That's 2 decades of the deportation machine destroying our people, right? When we just heard that when they went to Guatemala, that the United States government interfered. They've been interfering all over Latin America for decades. They think it's their backyard, and then when they make the conditions so terrible, so ruthless and unbearable, where do the people go? They go to the richest country on the planet. And what do? They kick them in the face and tell them, you're a criminal, you're the bad guy, you're what's making this place worse. Do we believe that? No! Absolutely not. And we are winning. We are going to win. That's right! In 2025, Dilley housed 600 families per month. In 2026, it's 100. And that wasn't the work of one person, one politician, one political party. That was the work of the people. People like you that organized and said, enough is enough. We will not take this anymore. But we must continue to fight, and we will not have any concessions. They may shut down Dilley, but we will not stop until they shut down every detention center all over the country, until DHS is abolished, until ICE is abolished. In San Antonio, there is they have purchased a warehouse on the east side on the 25th. We are having a protest to fight back. We must continue to fight back, not just with voting, but with organizing. Voting is good, it's great, but we have to organize our communities. We have to fight back every day. Our families, our immigrant community can't wait till November. They need you right now, right here. Thank you.
All right, now I want to introduce a personal friend of mine. I always call her Chingona. Denise Carrion. Thank you, first of all, to the Brown Berets. They're helping provide security with PSL and Indivisible SA, I believe. Here is my friend Denise La Chingona.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name. So my name is Denise Carrion. I was born in Rio Bravo, Tamaulipas, and I have worked with Beto O'Rourke running for Senate, with the President Joe Biden, and with a congressional leader in South Texas. And I will say with that, I do have the access to these congressmen. So I've been working on cases. You can follow me on Facebook so you can see the cases that we have worked on. So I'm going to give you a statistic. 46 to 53 people have died in U.S. immigration and custom enforcement, which marks the highest death toll in over 2 decades. Medical issues, suicide, or neglect. So we are here today because our communities are tired. We're tired of fear, tired of separation, and tired of systems that treat human beings like cases instead of people. Let's be clear about what is happening in front of us. Detention centers are not about safety. They are about profit, control, and punishment. And our communities, especially immigrant, working class, and brown communities, are the ones paying the price. So this is not a political issue, it's a morality issue. Just in 2 weeks, we have 2 medical doctors that have been detained, Dr. Berets and Dr. Bolivar. Dr. Bolivar is now in their house with their families. I'm so sorry. So Dr. Berets is with their family, and Dr. Bolivar is still in custody. Shame. They did everything by the rules, and they're still being held in the detention center, which are in horrible conditions, according to a Congressman, Joaquin Castro, and other congressional leaders. So I'm going to read you all a quote from someone that helps me with these cases. He also has access to those leaders, which is Sebi Haddad. Victor Sebi Haddad. He's running for state rep over there in South Texas. So he states this: the situation at Dilley facility isn't just a policy failure. It's a failure of our democratic values. We need true immigration reform now. The individuals being held here are our neighbors, our friends, and our families. We must demand accountability from our leadership and ensure that our agencies are targeting actual criminals, not breaking up families that make the Rio Grande Valley and everywhere here in our nation. So me and Sebi do work along each other to make sure that these cases come forward and that the press works on them quick. So we're saying it loud and clear today. No more detention centers in our community, not here, not anywhere. The fear is a tool and division is a strategy. But here in South Texas, we know better. We believe in community over control. We believe in service over ego. We believe in democracy over domination. We believe that leaders are not rulers. They are public servants. That's right. And if they forget that, we will vote them out. And we will remind them. We're in a region that knows what it means to be overlooked, underestimated, and ignored. But we are a region that knows how to rise. We rise where our neighbors are attacked. We rise when our rights are threatened, and we rise when anyone tries to silence our voices. We also demand something very simple, very urgent. Stop funding ICE. We do have people in our party who have funded ICE. So make sure you look at those leaders and hold them accountable. Please call their offices. They need to know this is unacceptable, and we will vote you out if you don't start voting our way.
Be put in office. Moms are on a mission, and we totally got this. So with that being said, I'm going to welcome Ms. Caroline Benevides, please. Another Chingona.
Buenas tardes. Mi nombre es Carolina Benevides Treviño. Primero quiero darle gracias a Dios y a todos los que están aquí. Aprendieron de nuestro movimiento y en vez de tomar un paso al lado, tomaron un paso adelante. Y se lo agradecemos inmensamente. Segundo, quiero reconocer a Cristera, porque cuando escuchó lo que pasó con el niño Liam y el trauma que estuvo dispuesto a causar para su cruel meta y atrapar a sus padres, en vez de hacerse chiquita y perder la falta de esperanza, creó un movimiento entero. Esto es la resistencia y esta es nuestra humanidad. La realidad es que esto es la suma de nuestra posición. Nos podemos dejar llevar por el miedo y el odio y las amenazas que nos lanza esta administración, o podemos unirnos. Podemos luchar juntos y podemos apoyarnos unos al otro. Y que con voz que tiembla, pero que nunca se quebra, y gritar con voz alta. No nos quedaremos callados mientras abusan de nuestros niños. No nos quedaremos callados y con los brazos cruzados mientras tratan a las mujeres con violencia. No nos quedaremos callados mientras maltratan a nuestra gente, a nuestras personas. Estos lugares de detención les llaman algo bonito, pero la realidad es más fea. Son prisiones para mamis y para papis. Son prisiones para niños y niñas. Pero esto lo digo para mis guerreros que están adentro. No pierdan su fe. Los quieren hacer que dejen de creer, no los dejen. No pierdan su ser propio. Los quieren hacer creer que no son fuentes, pero son valientes. No se los permitan. Son poderosos y son capaces. Anoche le pregunté a mi hija de 8 años qué pudiera hacerla sentir mejor y con un poco de seguridad si ella estuviera en una situación similar. Y acabaré con el mensaje de ella. No están solos. No están desamparados. Los amamos. No se rindan. Hay miles de gente peleando por ustedes y no descansaremos hasta que estén libres. Nosotros no nos vamos a dar por vencidos. ¡Que viva la gente inmigrante! ¡Y que viva nuestra comunidad!
Thank you so much. Okay, another Chingona. Jess, come on up here. One that's undercover.
My name is Jessica Kelly, and I'm an activist with Flair USA. I started this journey when I saw immigrants being targeted because of what they look like and how they sound. And it became personal when I had to give my daughter a real ID. You see, my daughter doesn't look like me. And it hit me that one day someone may ask her for her papers and not mine. In that moment, I knew I couldn't stay silent. I've seen a lot of these ICE facilities across the country, but this one in Dilley and the one at Alligator Alcatraz are the ones that I find the most haunting. If the media and congressmen are not allowed inside, not allowed to see it, not allowed to talk to the people and the children detained inside, then how are we not supposed to think the worst? When children are getting sick and being denied their medication, how are we not supposed to think the worst? These places exist because they make money. Core Civic, the company that runs this facility behind me, gets paid between $150 to $300 per person per day by the federal government. Hundreds of thousands of dollars daily funded by your tax dollars, my tax dollars, and it's disgusting. Their executives collect multi-million-dollar salaries while the people locked inside are paid as little as $1 a day. Our country is not being run right now by people who care about us. They're being run by people who care about money. When Trump called Mexican people murderers and rapists, I took that personally. My mother opened her home to an undocumented young man when I was a teenager. And that young man was respectful. And that young man was hardworking. And I love that young man as my brother. And that young man could have been one of these people behind me, locked in these cages, in this haunting place. And he's now documented. And he's married, and he has 4 beautiful children. And this country has always been built on the backs of immigrants and slaves. And why has our government always been the quickest to discard the very people who built it? And Flair USA in DC taught me how to lobby for what I need in the halls of Congress. They taught me that their offices are open Monday through Friday. And any of you looking at me today can walk into their offices and demand justice. And that's why I'm here, asking you today to please hold your congressmen accountable by calling them daily. Make little groups and walk into their offices together. Hound your lawmakers by being relentless. If there is no justice in the place behind me, make sure that they have no peace. That's right. So if you'll please repeat after me: no justice, no peace. No justice, no peace. No justice, no peace. No justice, no peace. And shut it down. Shut it down. Sí se puede. Sí se puede. Unimos podemos hacerlo. Unidos podemos hacerlo. Thank you. All right, everybody. I'm going to ask you when you leave to please make sure that you're leaving with the people in the yellow jackets. They're going to help escort you across. Please be careful when you're driving out. Know that there's crazy Trump trucks out there looking to run us over. Okay? And just be careful.
The hot dogs at the park, guys. Everyone, head out to the park where the it's locked. It's shut down.
We will find a place for our salchichas. Is there another park here?
Yeah, apparently, they locked it. They probably didn't know they did that shit on purpose. You know, they heard we were coming and they were like, oh, assholes. They are. I'm scared of everything. Scared. I'm like, I just want to be at home. And they're like, oh, did you get your George Soros check? I wish sometimes. I do this shit because you can't live like this.
Give me a second to catch up. Oh, I can't get at a park.
Hey, there's not a gate there. It's the main park where the watermelon is.
Which way is she?
I don't know. Okay. Is that where Almata?
Oh, wait. Something's doing.
Okay. We're going to call her in a bit.
You're so strong, Kim. You tight.
Thank you, everyone, for coming. We're gonna go to the park and have hot dogs.
Where did you do that first?
Or you want to do some chants? Lemmy's gonna do some chants.
Are you doing it the right way?
I hope you're coming back for your phone, man.
Yeah,
I'm gonna put it on the.
Which way is it?
I think it's righty tighty, lefty loosey. Okay, I'm gonna put this on the podium because I'm worried it's gonna get stepped on.
Go to the grid. Let's go to the grid.
We're gonna do some chants. Free the children, let them go. Dilley, Dilley, shut it down. Free the children, let them go. Dilley, Dilley, shut it down. Free the children, let them go. Dilley, Dilley, shut them down. Free the children.